So at least for this morning, we've got a tidal advantage going on, which is good because we need to make 20 some miles today. Basically, past this section, the water district land is done. So there is no more camping except for developed spots. There's a couple of RV camps along the way. Last night we could have pushed it, paid $41 and stayed next to a whole bunch of RVs with generators running. Decided this would be a little nicer. So we have to get all the way to Anderson Landing at the town of like Suwannee, Salt Creek area. What we figure is today, get down there. That's actually not mile 0, that's mile 4. And then the following morning, we'll go out, paddle to the end, come back during one of the, they have little like side canals you can go through, and then get a ride back to White Springs. And we should be staying at the White Springs B&B that night, if things work out. We had somebody who was really nice contacted us and offered us to host us there. So that's gonna be our plan. And the water is still higher than when we arrived last night, but that makes sense if the tide is currently falling. So as we mentioned, we've been having a big of an issue with the Big Blue paddle. It just seems to be a design of the Big Blue paddle. Voltaic system, the little red box, has been working well. However, this battery doesn't seem to have quite as much capacity as our hiking ones. It's also a slower charge, which we can work with, but you know, I'm used to being able to charge my phone in for 20 minutes, plug my phone in for 20 minutes, and then it charges. This one, I have to, like when I start doing videos, plug in because it's gonna do a slow charge. We did talk about potentially getting a second battery like this. So like this has been at full capacity for the last day or two because I used a different battery. And so we're kind of wasting sun here. Overall, I'm really happy with this. It just feels like it's not going to be quite enough for both of us. I think like I could probably keep going off this, but we're going to need a supplementary panel of some sort. Due to the high water, the launch today was a little bit challenging. And continues to be. Should have seen what I had to do to get the other end over there. But it's okay. We are back on the water. Ready for all the power boats to come zooming by and try and swamp us.
Get to go see some more manatees.
Yeah, that too. Every morning we get out here, I end up wishing we had started earlier, but we kind of got into bad habits with that cold spell there. Plus, I mean, we've been making our 20 some miles and we're kind of set up for that at this point, so no point in starting at 4 a.m. The spring water being so much warmer, you can see it from a real distance. Oh, hey, your pink bird is back. I feel like he feels like it's rude that we're filming him while he's plucking his feathers. So we're about where all the manatees are. They seem to be hanging around that little beacon there. You can see them coming up to breathe. All the people on the decks are not seeing too much. You can see where he got hit by it. Pretty much all of them have wounds from the boats, sadly. Oh, this one's got barnacles. I think we arrived during nap time. Oh yeah, you're right. There's a little baby. They're like little sausages just cuddled up. Hard to see through the reflection, but it's another mother and calf. He's holding onto her fin. See? It must be like a tagged one. Got him breathing. Okay, I think we satisfied Tater's morning manatee cravings. If only we had more coffee to drink while watching the manatees.
Oh, I love them all. The little babies swimming next to mommy. The little baby biting on the fin.
Didn't like the big fat ones, only the little babies.
Fat one.
couple more, just little guys though. We've only seen one big one yesterday. So for pretty much all of today, this is National Wildlife Refuge. We are not permitted to camp here. Now, could we get away with it? Probably, but you know us, we're sticklers for staying legal, mostly. You know, except where I spent weeks stealth camping across a foreign country and all. So another thing very different, hiking versus paddling. You know how hard it is to paddle to the tune of Wigwam? I'm here rocking out to Wigwam, and it's not like, poof, poof, poof. You gotta go, very frustrating. Hiking, way better. It keeps my pace up in the morning. Ever since it warmed up again, the middle of the day has just been brutal because of the sun coming off of the water. This is the first time in a while we've had clouds, and it feels really, really nice. Plus, you know, makes it look a little more epic versus all that boring blue sky, sun. So far when we get hit by waves, it's no big deal. It is nice being in a canoe because we don't have to worry about waves actually like coming into the cockpit like on our canoes or kayaks.
It's something, but I wouldn't say, oh, it was in an email, everyone got this.
So we were just cruising through Fowler's Buff, and from here we are in the refuge until we get to Suwannee and the ocean. Ooh, bubbles. Manatee?
The clouds look really pretty too.
Yeah, I kind of want the sun to go back behind them. It was so nice to get a break. So there have been a fair number of fishing boats, but it hasn't been too bad. We just kind of roll with the wake. So we have officially been fighting the tide here for the last 2 hours or so, and we are working significantly harder. Plus side, I saw an otter. I saw him like dive down. Unfortunately, Taters did not, so we're still really hoping that we get a whole like pod of otters coming over and playing. You need to bring otter snacks, then they might come over.
The guide said they like to frolic on the beach.
Yeah, the beaches are all underwater here. We're in a giant swamp estuary. 5 o'clock. We've been hiding in the shadow of this island, and it's going a little easier. And that looks like that's going to be Anderson up there. All of this keeps giving me flashbacks to Big Cypress, which was one of the cooler sections of the Florida Trail that I totally need to take Taters on. Along with Bradwell Bay, because Bradwell Bay was a blackwater swamp, but much deeper. Like Taters level deep. We're still having to work harder than we were earlier, but at least it's calmed down a bit, seems like. So many birds. So many loud people on boats. Six o'clock, and we're just reaching the town of Suwannee. This actually isn't the end. This is the last takeout, but this is mile 4. Now, I would just stop here, call it good, and go for pizza, but there's somebody back there who's a purist, who's ridiculous and all, who has to go do the last miles out to the open freaking ocean. Have you ever paddled in the ocean? It's horrible. It's all like, blah, blah, blah. But no, we have to go do that.
I'm
so
just not ready to be done yet. I love this section. There's so many animals everywhere.
The section had like bigger crossings.
And
it was less exciting.
Maybe on our very last day tomorrow, we'll get to see an otter frolicking.
I think I need to find a stuffed otter and like throw it into the water, and then I can go, look, Jen, look, it's a little otter. Oh, it's got friends, it's playing. Oh, look, it went underwater and drowned. It's all good. So yeah, our plan is tomorrow we're going to leave early, come out, go out that way towards the open ocean. Ooh, really hard to point backwards. And then maybe like loop around, come back, and we'll get picked up at 3 o'clock, at which point we go back to White Springs, where the world famous Nanook has arranged for us to stay at the White Springs B&B, which was very nice of him. Nanook is the guy that I met when I was on the ECT. He was coming south as I was going north, and we had a beer at, what was it, West River Run?
Can tell you.
You weren't there, but you watched the episode. You watch every episode when I'm not there, right? It's where I threw my Crocs away. I had a beer and pizza with Nanook, and I threw my Crocs away. She still hasn't bought me new Crocs. Longer I talk, the less I have to paddle. If I can keep this going for another 10 minutes or so, we'll be to the dock, and my poor arms, which have been like going this entire time, will be rested. So we're used to seeing houses. We're used to seeing houses on stilts. And then there's that guy who decided to install himself on the 3rd story, I guess. This is kind of cool though. It does seem like they do have roads here. So I was noticing, like, you go around Newport El Balboa, you see a lot more paddlecraft for people to get from A to B. And here they have jerry boats and whatnot, but it looks like you can actually drive around town, which is far less exciting. And it looks like this is us. Last of the quote-unquote river camps. It's a little more urban than the others. We're very happy that we stopped where we did last night. Technically there is a motel back there, but somebody is like, no motel. I haven't had a shower in like 12 days, and she's like, no shower. Instead, we are going to be there. We're currently trying to figure out where we're allowed to be and where we're allowed to camp, because it's not super clear here. So it looks like, well, it's called Anderson River Camp. There's actually a Bill's RV right next door, and that's all there is here. We're trying to find somebody. We may end up getting a room because it's pretty loud out here. Massa taters in the evening. We got a room. Little known fact that Tater's full trail name is actually Tater's McBooty Bottom,